Okay, in today's video, what we're going to do is going to go through some setup tips to help you alleviate some of the pain or discomfort that most people will get from their lower back when they're doing a lot of hip hinge movements, such as the deadlift, RDLs, that kind of thing. Now, bear in mind, we can address some of these setup tweaks and changes, but also thinking about your mobility. So if you've got poor mobility from hamstrings, then you're going to have to work on that as well. And also bearing in mind that if you're someone that sits at a desk or in a seated position for long portions of the day, which is a lot of people, you are naturally going to feel your lower back when you go into some of these movements, like many people will. It's just a weak area. So bear that in mind, that we can tweak these setups to make them better, but also thinking about mobility and that you are going to have some weak areas. And things such as stretches, foam rolling are also going to be really beneficial. But for now, in this video, let's look at this setup. And we're going to work from the bottom up, okay? So we're going to approach the bar, and it's really important that you get as close as you possibly can. You want those shins against the bar, okay? And the thing with the shins, you don't want them going forward, so you don't want your knees moving forward. You want those shins staying upright for the entirety of this movement. If the shins go forward, the knees go forward, the bar moves away, there you're going to be placing tension in areas that you don't really want. So keep the shins upright. So if we can take the hands to the bar, keeping those shins nice and upright, we're going to drop those hips down a little bit with the chest up. Now, it's really important from this position now that we keep those arms straight and we keep the shoulders over the top of the bar. Again, if the shoulders start moving in front of the bar's going to start moving away. So you want to keep it as close as we can. Now, in this position, we want to keep that neutral spine. What a lot of people can do is they can flex their spine and get a dip. So we want to keep it nice and flat there, okay? And with that, that's how we want to keep that spine. We want to keep it nice and flat throughout this movement. So we've got shins upright, we've got spine neutral, and we want to keep the head neutral as well. So what a lot of people will do is they'll look up and look forwards, and again, you're going to start changing the position of the spine. Keep the chin down, a little bit lower there, and then you can keep that spine a lot more neutral. Before you pull, now I want you to think about bracing. So I want you to think about dragging your shoulder blades down your back, abs tight, and think about contracting every muscle in your body as best as you possibly can. Okay? So when you're ready, Alice, we're going to drive the bar up. Cool. Now, from lowering, we want to keep that neutral spine. So I want you to think about driving the hips back, keeping those shins upright, and keeping that chin down and the abs nice and tight. So hips move back. Think about pushing the door closed with your bum. Keep your chin back down. Hip, that's it, brilliant, and relax. Okay, so those few tips there, always keeping those shins upright, keeping that neutral spine as best as you can by driving the hips back, keep the chin down. There's some of the real big ones. And the last one really is to brace. Before you pick the bar up, think about contracting. Drive your shoulder blades down into your back. Contract every muscle that you can to take out any movement or alleviate any movement when you start to pull the bar. Now we'll run through the RDL, and it's exactly the same. We're obviously starting from the top, but the shins stay upright. The hips drive back as if you're trying to push a door closed with your bum, and you keep that neutral spine. Again, a lot of people keep the chin up as they move forwards, keep the chin down to keep that neutral spine. So we'll go through an RDL, nice and slow on the way down, drive the hips back, neutral spine, down to there, just mid-shin, and back up. You see how we keep the chin down, alleviates any pain from the upper back and your back of your neck. Before you go as well, think about contracting and keeping the shoulder blades down, driven, abs tight, so you brace, move through the movement, hips back, shins upright, drive up. Perfect, okay? Now, just implementing some of those tips are going to really alleviate some of that lower back pain when you move through some of these big hip hinge movements.